I know many of you struggle with getting consistent results and being able to stick to your trading plan. So in this video, I'm going to be covering 3 different pointers that helped me elevate my trading when I was first starting out. So make sure you guys watch the video to the very end. I'm going to help you guys out as much as possible, guys. And if you enjoy these videos, make sure you guys smash that like button. I really do appreciate it, guys. And if you're new, welcome to the family. I appreciate you guys very, very much. So with that being said, guys, one of the pointers, we're going to start with point number 1, is not FOMOing into trades. Patience is everything, team. You got to make sure that you're patient when it comes to the markets, right? Understanding that quality over quantity is much, much more better. So when we're looking at the markets, you want to wait for the market to come to you. You don't want to focus on scoping out. Typical mistake when you're starting out is trying to find or force trade setups. When you don't see something in the markets, for example, you're focusing on one pair and you just don't see something and you try and find, that's when you should know that there's nothing in that pair in terms of any setups that you see at that moment. So you move on to the next pair or you move on to the next day. And so patience is really, really important. I've actually got my notes here, and I know that, for example, a lot of you want to FOMO into trade opportunities that you see, but understand that being patient and disciplined is what's really going to help you get the results you desire. Trust me, I was there when I first started. I just wanted to be trading that high dopamine you get, that moment where you're in a trade, you see the blue, you see the profits. It's amazing, and trust me, that will come. But as a trader, you have to realize that more and more, the more disciplined you are, the more less you are on the charts, the less trades you take, less is more. So the more results you're gonna see a longer term as well too. So it's gonna be something much more sustainable and something that's really gonna help you grow and mature as a trader, as opposed to just trying to take trades to be in trades and end up being at a point where you're pretty much at a loss or at break even. So this is one thing I really noticed that really helped me elevate my trading, which was point number 1. So don't feel like you're gonna miss out. Don't FOMO into opportunities that you see or potential trade setups. Remember that you want to stick to your trading plan. Make sure it follows through your rules, team. Okay, make sure that it sticks to what you're looking at. And if it doesn't check off, then don't get in. It's that simple. Don't force it. Point number 2, each pair focus. When you're starting out, don't focus so much on trying to trade different pairs and trying to get familiar with so many different pairs. Focus on narrowing it down to maximum, I would say, 2 pairs when you're first starting out. The reason why I say this is because when you focus so much on all these different pairs, you're gonna feel very overwhelmed, right? So when you're trading out, when you're starting to trade, you want to focus on just the minimal amount of trades and the minimal amount of pairs as well, because that's going to help you really learn and understand how these pairs move. Obviously, we know that the markets always move differently. However, at least if you're focusing, for example, on not trading pairs that are correlated with the US dollar, then at least you know that, you can say, for example, if you're going to not focus on any pairs that are correlated with the US dollar, you focus only on, CAD JPY, right? So when CAD JPY is running, then you can say, hey, I'm going to trade this pair in the Asian session or in the New York session, whatever the case is, right? If you're going to focus on a US pair, then you know that in New York Open, you're not going to be trying to trade the US pair. Let's say, for example, in Asian session, you're going to focus on trading the US pair either in New York Open or probably even during the beginning or the end of a London session, if it's like, for example, the British pound versus the US dollar. So there's different ways you can approach the markets, but this is something that I really found that was helpful for me, was really focusing on understanding and focusing and narrowing it down to one pair. That way I could really know when to trade this pair, how this trade was moving, or when this pair would typically move the most. And so that was really, really helpful, as opposed to kind of focusing on, odd CAD, and then, for example, focusing on GU and then Euro USD, and then all these different pairs move at different times, right? So it's important for you to understand that you don't want to feel super overwhelmed, right? And so trust me, I know what it feels like wanting to, see that there's so many opportunities, because let me tell you something, that there will always be opportunities in the markets, okay? And I always say this in my live streams, I always say this in all my videos, there will always be opportunities in the markets. So once you kind of get over that hump, then you'll realize, you'll be like, oh, okay, I don't really need to try and get into this trade. I don't have that urgency, that sense of urgency or urge of getting into a trade. And so once you realize and get over that hump and say, okay, you know what, there's always another opportunity, even if I miss out on this one, that's okay. But focusing on too many pairs will actually affect your trading and actually not help you focus and have that laser vision, which is what's going to really help you mature and take your trading to that next level. Point number 3 is trusting the process and focusing on your plan, right? When you have a plan and you stick to this trading plan, regardless regardless of what that is, right? If everything checks off on your trading plan, then you take the trade opportunity. You only want to focus on highest probable setups, team. Okay, this is really, really important. A lot of traders really get into a trade opportunity just because they see that strong momentum, for example, and let's say they're doing a break and retest and they notice a strong momentum come in, they're seeing a nice pullback, but it's not checking off their list. So if it doesn't check off, stick with your trading plan, trust the process. For example, what I find that works for me is I set alerts. Sometimes my alerts don't get touched. So for example, price went down and then I'm waiting for that pullback, right? And then all of a sudden, as I'm waiting for the pullback, I'm busy doing something else because I just set my charts and I just forget about it and I set my alerts. Sometimes, unfortunately, price literally by 1 pip comes up close to my alert and then it pushes all the way back down in my direction. Another time I would have been like, oh man, like I missed out on that opportunity. Like I could have made this amount of money, right? But as you mature more and more and more in your trading, you realize you're like, oh, okay, well, I missed it. It's all good. It is what it is, right? The more you realize that, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick to my plan. It didn't touch my alert. It didn't touch my area, or it didn't come up to my sell zone or my buy zone at this level of demand or this level of resistance, whatever. That's okay. Why? Because we go back to point number 2. We know that every day has new opportunities. We know that the markets will always have different opportunities and new opportunities that we can always take advantage of. So team, best advice is to stay encouraged. Whenever you feel discouraged, I want you to know that trading is something that requires a lot of discipline, requires you to be consistent, to study, really back test, to put in the work. If you put in the work, if you do everything that is required, everything that really will help you get there, trust me, you will see the results, right? And I know sometimes it feels tiring. I know that sometimes it feels like it's a never-ending cycle. Sometimes it feels like you're studying back to back, and sometimes it just feels discouraging when you don't see the instant results. There's a lot of times we are so accustomed to in today's society to see instant results. And let me tell you, trading is one of those things where you're not going to get those instant results. It takes time and you have to trust the process and keep laser focused. So that is point number 3, keeping the vision, keeping the focus. If you have to take notes like I have here, or if you have to have a little calendar goal, which I have up there over there, where I kind of set my goals and I write it down. It sounds crazy, but to be honest with you, it's probably the most smartest thing I've ever done, is writing things down, because it helps you keep accountable. And make sure that when you do write things down, team, make sure that you write it down and leave it somewhere visible, because that's also another thing that's important, is leaving things visible. Otherwise, if you write it down but you put it away, it's going to be useless. But if you write it down and you leave it on your desk every day and you look at it every day and you're like, okay, I need to focus on this. I need to not get desperate on this. I need to focus on trusting my trading plan. I need to focus on just this 1 or 2 pairs, right? That is what's going to help you make a huge difference. Again, stay encouraged. Make sure, if you guys haven't joined in, if you're new to the family, whatever it is, welcome to La Familia. As I always say, make sure you guys are connected below. Make sure you guys click links below. We have a free Telegram group, guys. It's a Traders Academy. It's absolutely free to tune in. You can join by clicking the link below. And if you enjoyed this video, or you found some sort of value in this video, make sure you guys give me a thumbs up, but also share this video, because this video could also bless someone else that's looking to start their trading journey. And if you guys have any other suggestions in terms of a video that you'd like to see, feel free to leave it in the comments below, guys. I'd love to be able to help you guys any way possible. And as you guys know, we're always pulling out fresh new content every single week. And so I appreciate you guys. I will catch you guys until the next video. Bye for now.